Don't go broke at a nursing home. Larry Weiss is here from Elder Advisers, and you know what? This is good information. We don't have enough time to really give it all to you, but the good news is Larry Weiss and Elder Advisers has workshops coming up, and I'm guessing they're pretty entertaining.
They are entertaining, they're informative, and Larry Weiss is in the house, JR.
Yes.
That means John Ramsey. That's kind of showbiz.
Gotcha.
And speaking of showbiz, you know, I have to say this is a little humbling for me, John, because you have a little bit of a following in the greater Kentuckiana area as well. We have Allison, Joe, and JoJo up in Madison. Oh, they love John Ramsey. This is their love for you, not my love. My love is bigger. Their love is like this. Okay.
I love them back.
And we have Luann, who never misses a show. She DVRs it. She works as a nurse, so she's always watching John Ramsey. It kind of hurts because I was thinking she was watching it for me. But
believe me, you have a following, and for a good reason.
I do.
If you are really, and I do think it's a fear of everyone. It's something we tend to, I think, put on the back burner.
Yep.
Okay, but it's going to happen to all of us. There may be a time when you may need to transition into a senior living facility. What you do, and there is a lot of moving parts, is you're like turnkey. We can take care of you on all aspects, whether it be on the litigation side, on the law side, on the attorney side.
Which Steve Langdon, Millie Stevenson is illegal because I'm not an attorney giving legal advice. I'm a financial advisor giving financial advice. Kentuckiana.
Right, estate planning.
Estate planning.
All of this.
Right, so in a nutshell, what Elder Advisors does is we help families transition their loved ones from their homes to home health care, assisted living, or long-term care using financial and legal strategies to protect assets so they, wait for it, don't go broke in a nursing home. Because you don't have to. If you know the right people like Steve Langdon, McNeely Stevenson, that's why we're doing the workshops tonight at the 4 Points by Sheraton, right down the road on I-65. Is there something wrong here, John Ramsey? Right here. I'm right here, John. John.
I'm really impressed with Doug York, who will be in our next segment.
Doug York is so handsome. I moved him out of the segment. We'll bring Doug York and his skill set to segment 3 with Rodefer-Moss, because there it is. Thank you, Tammy. Camera 2's a little shy, draw up a little bit. But yeah, tonight, 6 p.m. at the 4 Points by Sheraton. Don't go broke in a nursing home. And of course, tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. at the Hampton Inn in Clarksville on Broadway, just off Veterans Parkway. But the reality is you don't have to go broke in a nursing home. If it's a husband and wife and one spouse goes in a nursing home, we can protect all of the assets. If it's a single person, we can protect about half the assets. Half the assets are, half of something's better than all of nothing. Sure. And that's what we do at Elder Advisors, is we work with the skill set of attorneys, also with accountants, which we're thrilled to have Doug York. Is Doug York in the house? Tammy's saying he's saying he's getting a manicure. Tell him to hurry up, get the nails done later. Doug York will be on the next segment, because oftentimes when we're moving assets, helping families qualify for benefits, there's tax questions. Well, much like I'm not an attorney giving legal advice, I'm certainly not a CPA giving tax advice. So we refer people to Rodefer-Moss. Bunny is a receptionist at Rodefer-Moss. She is great with customer service. She'll triage the client's needs, get them to the right accountant at Rodefer-Moss. But it does take a team approach, because it's never too late to protect assets. Even if someone's in a nursing home going through $8,000 to $7,000 a month, they don't have to keep doing that.
That's what's interesting to me, is a lot of people, just because you don't have the information, and in this case, information truly is power.
It is power.
And it also puts more money in your bank account. When people say, well, can I afford a service like Elder Advisors? You can't afford not to. I really feel that, because, as I said, $7,000 to $8,000 a month, and the things that you know, and what you can show them, and the avenues that they can take, the alternatives, they've got to be aware of those, and then make a really informed, educated decision.
Well, and part of the problem is the government has their rule book. Okay, the clients, Kentuckiana, you don't have a rule book. Right. If you come to the workshop tonight at 6 o'clock or tomorrow morning at 10 a.m., Steve Langdon with McNeely Stevenson and Larry Weiss and the rest of my team at Elder Advisors will help you develop your own rule book so you can protect your assets. Because right now, the only person that has a rule book is the government. They've got their rule book, and the states of both Indiana and Kentucky are predisposed to always decline an application for Medicaid. And when you're on the hook for $7,000, $8,000 a month, you better have your rule book lined up. That's what we talk about at the workshop. I'm sorry, but that man is just drop dead gorgeous, John. I'm sorry. I'm kind of partial to the guy. Steve is a good looker too, but that other guy in the preceding shot was good looking. But Steve brings the legal component, because you always need a legal component. If we're going to protect assets so they don't go broke in a nursing home, you've got to do it the right way, and you've got to get away from what we call the barbershop law.
Which is?
The guy at the barbershop.
Listening to guys at the barbershop.
Yeah, they don't know what you're talking about.
Or the grocery store law.
Right. And Doug and I, we were talking earlier, and he has the same problem on his end. Well, I don't have to do this for tax stuff. Well, then maybe you ought to have that guy do your tax return.
Yeah, that's going to be a disaster.
Yeah, because the barbershop law does not work when you're trying to protect a lifetime of assets. Because the reality is, as I've said before, you don't have to. if you have the right skill set with Steve Langdon, McNeely Stevenson Law Firm, there's that drop-dead gorgeous guy. I'm sorry, it was Larry Weiss. I was just distracted. I was normally looking at you, John, but when I saw the other guy, my eyes just kind of wandered over to camera.
Here's what I'm concerned about, though, these workshops. Lots of great information, and I do think you need to attend. Make a reservation very quickly. But I'm worried about, are they entertaining? Because your lack of personality, to me, it might put me to sleep. You think workshop, and you think, you know, hey, I'm going to take a snooze.
Honestly, John, watching paint dry is more entertaining than watching me.
No, you know, but I love your philosophy of. I mean, because in this regard, you are humble.
I am humble.
Which is tough. But you're humble in this regard. Like you said, you want to surround yourself with the most educated people, people who are experts in their field, because then the end product and the outcome is the best for your
client.
Exactly.
And they're the ones that benefit from this.
Exactly.
You know, Steve Langdon's a former prosecutor. He's a trial attorney. He's been on both sides of the river. He goes to court. I find most attorneys do not leave the confines of their office. They process paperwork, and that's all part what attorneys do. But if you're going to hold the state to task because the government's using their rule book, you need to utilize Steve's rule book and Elder Advisors' rule book. You may need Steve to take the state to task. He's not afraid of taking no for an answer. Because if you're trying to protect a lifetime of assets, you need the right attorney, which Steve Langdon is, to take the state to task and go, no, 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 you're interpreting this completely wrong because the federal rules say this. And then when there's a tax issue, that's why in the next segment, Doug York from Rodefer-Moss is going to come out, because oftentimes people are scared to death they're going to owe taxes, this or that, and often they owe nothing in taxes, or it's greatly minimized because of the things that Steve is doing on the legal part, and we're doing on the financial to protect assets, so they wait for it. Don't go broke in a nursing home.
There you go. Don't go broke in a nursing home. Now,
don't do it, baby.
For those who are watching now, and they're saying, well, you know, I'm years away. When should they
Then they need to come out
Yes.
tonight. Thank you, John, because there's 3 levels of planning. There's crisis planning. They're in the nursing home now, going through 7,000. We can help. The other extreme is someone who says, well, they'll be 10 or 20 years from now. They need to come out because if they use some very basic planning tools now, they can avoid the crisis planning later. And the third variable is pre-crisis planning. Dad's home now. He did some rehab. We've got some home health checking on him 2 or 3 days a week. But we're not sure what side of the fence he's going to fall on, how this is going to play out. Then there's some pre-crisis planning things that we can do now. So the reality is, you know, DVR your TV programming tonight. Come out tonight. It's a free workshop, and we usually make ourselves available for pre-consultations after that to kind of tailor in what those clients' needs are, because everybody's is different.
Yep. And I hear this often, and I think if you've witnessed this or if you've experienced this, you need to call Elder Advisors. You go home for the holidays. Maybe it was Mother's Day.
It could have been Mother's Day.
You see that mom's slipping a little bit, or the dad doesn't seem to be quite present, and you're saying, you know what, you love them. You want to get in front of this. You want the very best for them.
Right.
Elder Advisors, I do think, is the answer, because I really don't know anyone else who can do what you do. I really don't.
We have no competition. We are the competition. There's people that try to do this, but often they come up short, and then they create messes. And I said this on last month's episode. I'm not perfect. I make mistakes, but if I do, I own it. I stand in the room, and I pick up the pieces and put them back together again. That's what makes us different. We're in this for the long haul. They get our cell numbers. We're pretty much available 24/7. And speaking of Mother's Day, happy Mother's Day, Mom. And also to my favorite mother-in-law, because I've got 4 or 5 of them. But my favorite one is Marie Leach and her great husband, Will. Hi, Marie and Will. And you know, I don't want to get them in trouble, but Marie's told me many times I'm her favorite son-in-law. Sorry, Bob and Kevin. No, I'm the favorite son-in-law.
Okay. Yeah, I'm telling you, Bob and Kevin are hearing the same thing, you know, just to let you know. All right, once again, Elder Advisors, the workshops. Let's put up the times and the dates again.
Don't go broke in a nursing home.
Don't go broke in a nursing home. You know, maybe it's public speaking. Perhaps it's the fear of spiders or snakes. I bet you this is on the list. Don't go broke in a nursing home. There they are. Invite them out.
Yeah, they need to come out tonight at 6 o'clock at the 4 Points by Sheraton, right off I-65, exit 132. And tomorrow, 10 a.m. at the 4 Points by tonight is 4 Points by Sheraton, 6 o'clock. Tomorrow is 10 a.m. at the Hampton Inn in Clarksville on Broadway, right off Veterans Parkway. It's never too late, Kentuckiana. Come out tonight, come in tomorrow morning. It's never too late. Don't go broke in a nursing home.
All right. Once again, Doug York is on the way. And
I can't wait.
One of the experts on the team of Elder Advisors. We'll meet you on the other side.
Hey.
Welcome back to Wave 3 Listens. I just had a little bit of a reunion here. Did not realize, but now I understand that I know Doug York.
He's a good man.
From a life long ago, but he joins us now, and he is part of the team of Elder Advisors. Don't go broke in a nursing home. I'll let you do the official introduction and tell us exactly what is Doug's area of expertise, and then we'll let him chat with us.
Well, John, as I say many times, I always want to surround myself with top talent because, as I said in the previous segment, if we're taking the ability, if one spouse goes in a nursing home, we can protect all of the assets. And I will tell you, when we do that, there's almost always a tax issue or questions arise, which I'm about to bring in Doug. And certainly for a single person, there's almost always tax questions. So for a husband and wife, if one spouse goes in a nursing home, we can protect all the assets. If it's a single person, we can protect about half of the assets. That's why we're doing our workshops tonight. Don't go broke in a nursing home. 4 Points by Sheraton at 6 o'clock on Crittenden Drive, and of course tomorrow morning, 10 a.m. at the Hampton Inn in Clarksville. But whether it's legal components, which of course Steve Langdon does a great job at McNeely Stevens Law Firm, we also often have tax questions, and that's when I refer them to Rodefer-Moss. And Doug York, for me, is pretty much the face of Rodefer-Moss because he answers those tax questions. And with that, I'd really like to introduce the Kentuckiana community to Rodefer-Moss and Doug York.
Hello, how are you?
Doug, welcome in.
Doug, you need to calm down, Doug.
I'm the calm one of the bunch.
He is the calm.
That's right. I like it like that.
Yeah.
I need a little yin and yang here. So, Doug, obviously, CPA, you're president and managing partner of your own firm.
Right.
So, what tax issues might someone encounter if they're in the condition of or know of a loved one who's getting ready to enter a senior living facility?
Well, you've got some planning you need to do. One of the issues that causes a lot of confusion is the $15,000 a year gift.
For sure.
So for gift tax purposes, you can give away $15,000 to whoever you want. But for Medicare purposes, you run into some issues.
Medicaid
I'm sorry.
Medicaid.
Get me corrected.
It's all good.
So then we do have some issues with that, and that's where Larry Weiss, we refer those to Larry Weiss. Larry Weiss Group handles that situation and makes sure it's handled correctly because it is a completely different playbook, as Larry says.
When we talk about estate planning and some of the legal sides, it's kind of a moving it's a
very
moving
much,
target. With
very
you
much.
as well, with tax laws changing all the time, that's why you need an expert because that changes as well. Am I correct, Doug?
Correct. We just went through the biggest tax law change since the 80s. So things that you've done in the past, you don't want to do going in the future or may not want to. A lot of people felt that pain this year with income tax returns, not getting the refunds they had got in the past or making mistakes. So it takes a lot of planning up front. Just sit down with a good advisor, Rodefer-Moss, or Larry, and sit down and develop a plan because income tax is like any other expense. You can plan for that and you can make changes for that. So if you take the time and effort to do that, it's well worth the investment.
Wow. So again, like you said, it's all about the team.
It is.
There are times when maybe perhaps Doug's not needed, but there are times when he may be not only needed, but maybe the most important piece of the puzzle, right?
Well, he's always needed because oftentimes what happens is when we're working with Steve Langdon at McNeely Stevenson Law Firm, we may be gifting money. There may be a gift to, let's keep it real simple. It's mother, she's in the nursing home. She's gifting $50,000 to the daughter for us to help qualify for Medicaid. How do you do that? Sorry, the Colonel doesn't give away his 11 secret recipes and spices and herbs. I'm not either on live television, but there's a process that we do. Now, if we gifted $50,000, we just exceeded the exclusion amount by about $35,000?
Correct.
So then I'm going to always tell them you need to file a gift tax informational return, or rather mom would next year. Is that correct?
Correct.
And that's what most people don't do. So for the benefit of the viewers, what does that actually mean? There's no tax owed by anybody, but there is a return that's required to be filed.
Right. It's an informational tax return, and you are required to file it if you give any gift to any one person over $15,000. So it's an informational return only. You also have lifetime exemptions individually. Exceeds over $5 million. Most people will not reach that threshold, but you are required to file an informational tax return.
Right. And that's the thing we try, we put newsletters out. Sadly, the last newsletter we were profiling Rodefer-Moss, but we forgot to put the phone number down. So Tim is working on the new newsletter where we're profiling Rodefer-Moss again, and we'll make sure the phone number is on there. Okay, so we'll have the phone number.
Thank you.
Because information is power.
Sure.
And we want this information because this is a lifetime commitment I have to the community and to my business model. People get our newsletters. I'm getting ready to mail 1,500 newsletters out to clients. And I want this information because I may get calls next year about the tax stuff, or the newsletters will remind them to do this. So often, so many of my clients are referred to Rodefer-Moss because the returns are going to be done correctly, people.
Yes.
Not barbershop tax law, correctly at Rodefer-Moss Accounting. And for me personally, I don't really like paying taxes, but the thing I like less is not knowing I owe the tax. Wow. Okay, so if we can kind of plan ahead, as Doug was saying a few minutes ago, plan for it and allow for it, it's not such a bad thing, but have the skill set to back it up, and that's what Rodefer-Moss does. Such a great job for my clients, whether they're pre-planning, they're crisis planning, or pre-crisis planning. All those variables, we help families protect assets so they don't go broke in a nursing home. Tammy, Tammy, I thought I could go through the show once without you buzzing in my ear. Kentuckiana viewing public, I'm sorry, the producer's talking in my ear. Yes, Tammy's reminding me, Kentuckiana, our workshops are again tonight, 6 o'clock at the 4 Points by Sheraton on Crittenden Drive. Yes, John Ramsey, it's exit 132 on 65. I know you kind of like the nuances of that. And of course, 10 a.m. tomorrow at the Hampton Inn in Clarksville on Broadway off Veterans Parkway. It's never too late, people. It's never too late. If you've already got someone in a nursing home or they're in the hospital ready to discharge to go to rehab, it's never too late. We protect those assets so they don't go broke in a nursing home. You don't have to do that.
All right, make sure you attend these workshops. Yes, they are entertaining and very, very informative. Don't go broke in a nursing home. We'll be back to put a bow on this show coming up next on Wave 3 Listens Live. Don't go broke in a nursing home. And Larry, it's never too late.
It is never too late, John. Please, folks, keep an open mind. Come out tonight, set your DVR, come out. You may learn something. It's certainly entertaining. It's always informative. It's never too late. Don't go broke in a nursing home. Whether you've got someone in nursing home or about to go, it's always worth the effort to protect those assets you spend a lifetime working for. Tonight, 4 Points by Sheraton, 6 o'clock on Crittenden Drive. Tomorrow, 10 a.m. at the Hampton Inn in Clarksville on Broadway off Veterans Parkway. Don't go broke in a nursing home. It's never too late. Don't prejudge. Come with an open mind. You will always learn.
What topics will be covered?
The big thing tonight is really crisis planning. The people that are kind of distraught, there's nothing that can be done. The nursing home told me I have to spend it all down. The reality is you don't have to do that. That's the ugly way. There's a beautiful way to do it. That's what we work with so you don't go broke in a nursing home.
All right, Doug, thank you so much.
Thank you, Doug. Rodefer-Moss.
Thank you.
Nice little reunion there with Doug. Always good to see Larry, and we'll see you tomorrow right here on Wave 3 Listens Live. Have a good one.